Hey, long time no talk, or see, but do you have any plans next month?
Wow, Dom! Hey! Yeah, it's been a while. Actually, I'll be in South Riding next month. What's up?
Oh yeah, I heard you moved or something. I'm visiting too. Do you have time to hang out?
Really? Of course I have time.
Turns out Estelle also moved away the same summer I left. Not too far, just a couple cities away. I never got to say goodbye to her before I moved, but I was glad we were talking again. As we caught up with our lives, I found myself realizing I've chosen the wrong girl out of that group 2 years ago. I needed some truth. So as a not so subtle segue into the topic, hey, can I ask you a question? Okay, be honest. Did you used to like me? She proceeded to enlighten me with a confession that was 2 years overdue. I found it comforting, but once again, I proved to you that I've made reckless decisions in my past. We talked some more, and surprise, surprise, I began to develop feelings for Estelle. All those times she got pushed away because I chose her friend over her. All those times she's helped me with said relationship because she was genuinely happy for us. All those times I chose to be ignorant to her feelings because I didn't want any awkward confrontations that could potentially damage any friendships. But there we were. 2 years later, I was done with Jessica, moving on from Aaron. Estelle and Bradley broke up before she moved away. In fact, after Jessica broke up with the guy she left me for, she and Bradley then ended up going out. Good luck with that. Anyway, Estelle and I were both single, and I was visiting in a month. During that wait, our conversations leading up to the visit involved several intimate exchanges and the obvious realization that our feelings were mutual. I visited on the weekend of America's Independence Day, and though I had 3 days to see old friends and such, I ended up spending most of it with Estelle. It was great to see her again. She grew up to be a wonderful woman, who was now taller than me. As far as I remember, we had a lot of fun spending time together that weekend. We walked around our old neighborhood and reminisced about our past.
Remember when you got your fingers stuck at that playground?
Yeah, I remember. You guys left me.
We came back, though. Hey, remember this?
What's that? Oh, you still kept it? Back in high school when we were all still friends, I went to the local pool with Jessica and Estelle. Afterwards, we walked each other home. I was on my bike and the two were on their waveboards. Estelle decided to be somewhat of a badass and grabbed the seat of my bike as I pulled her. That didn't end well. I had a handkerchief with me, so I tied it around her leg to stop the bleeding. Part of it was a nice gesture, the other was a subtle, "Hey Jessica, look how caring I am. I'd make a good boyfriend. Notice me." Turns out she wasn't the only one to notice. Our time together was limited, but we enjoyed it. After I returned to Canada, we continued talking, but we weren't sure where to go from there. Like I said, I've made reckless decisions in my past, and this was no exception. I had myself believing we were together, despite lacking an official title, but I didn't have a plan for us. And she realized that as well, except she proved to be the mature one in this ordeal. A week before school started, we had a conversation that resulted in my utmost bitterness towards Estelle, which simply proved how immature I was at the time.
I think we need to stop this.
What do you mean?
Us. I just think it's unrealistic that we stay together with the distance and everything. We don't even know when we'll see each other again, and I just don't think I can handle that. I understand if you're mad, but it's probably best if we find other people. I know you'll find someone who will make you happier than I can.
I wish I remembered exactly what I replied with, but as of now it just seemed like a blur of unjustified aggression and hatred. I can't say she led me on, because I knew that up to that point her feelings were genuine. She just saw a better future for us, but in her own directions, and I was too stubborn to admit she was right. Her decision was for the best, I must admit, but I couldn't deny my disappointment in how easily she called it off.
You know I'll always be there for you. I still care for you. But I understand if you need time.
But she was right. I needed time away from her. I didn't feel comfortable talking to her after that, and she was very compliant. She honestly cared for me, but I was too selfish and ignorant at the time to appreciate that. In hindsight, I regret not showing her how grateful I was for her unconditional love for me as a friend. I'm sorry, Estelle. I told myself I needed to move on as quickly as possible so I wouldn't dwell in the bitterness. And surprisingly, it didn't take that long, because I then met her.